So it turns out that New World wasn't actually the cause of GPUs getting bricked during its beta period. And for me, this highlights a little bit the risk of reporting on something when you don't quite know the full information. But then again, I guess we needed to issue a warning in case the game was bricking GPUs. So it's a little bit of a catch-22, but I believe that New World's reputation slightly suffered because of it, and it seems unfairly. So EVGA is a graphics card manufacturer, amongst probably other things, and they made some 3090s, and it's this specific card that was bricked by New World. I guess not really by New World, hence why I'm doing that. It turns out that they have since investigated this, and the actual cause was basically just bad workmanship on their part, and that it has only affected less than 1% of the 3090s. Essentially, this has nothing to do with New World, but New World was probably just the most popular game at the time and therefore got all of the flack. And with respect to EVGA, it seems like they have treated this with very utmost respect and kindness. You know, they have sent out replacements and that kind of thing, and they never really tried to blame Amazon or anything like that. If anything, Amazon, EVGA and Nvidia all were trying to work together to see if they could solve what this problem was. Turns out that it is a little bit of fault on the card that can definitely break your card. And then the issue was, well, why are Amazon changing the game to stop bricking cards? And it's because they didn't put a cap on the menu, and basically we believe that maybe the ramping up from like normal frame rates to like insanely high frame rates was basically the cause of the bricking. Now that's not like the game's fault, many other games do that, but you know, the card wasn't able to handle that. And that's basically the end of the story. To me, it's just interesting how something like this incident, which I never really spoke about at the time because I didn't have a 3090, I didn't have the information, I couldn't test it, I couldn't really prove anything or even like suggest anything. If it was bricking cards, yeah, that would be bad, but I don't know if it is bricking cards. Well, it turns out it bricked maybe like a handful of one specific manufacturers, and it wasn't actually New World doing that, it was the card itself having a bit of a defect. So for me, this highlights the risk of reporting and sharing information when you're not quite sure what the cause is. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, YouTubers, websites and stuff shouldn't have reported on it. Of course not, they obviously can and probably should. But it's just interesting how once the dust settles, the damage has sort of already been done. Because I sort of suspect that some people may not have fired up the beta because of this, and they might have been holding off pre-ordering it or buying the game when it comes out because they might not see the retraction, basically. So I think this is just an unfortunate thing in New World's history. I think we can draw a line under it now. It wasn't really New World's fault. If anything, they then changed the game to try and stop it happening again, even though it was actually the cards. That's really the end of the story. Hopefully people will notice this now, and if you do have a 3090 or any other kind of graphics card, then you can be reasonably rest assured that the game's not going to brick your graphics card. Saying that, I really hope something else doesn't happen, because that would be disastrous. That's the end of the video. Job's done. We've resolved the situation, even though it's just not necessarily been the best situation. It is what it is. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.